Greetings, it's Harriet here. Welcome back to MyfanwyNia's studio here in Leitrim's Iron Mountains. I hope you've all been having a wonderful week. Today's time-lapse drawing is of the moon, inspired in part by the simplest art in Art Nouveau. Art Nouveau was an ornamental style of art that flourished between 1890 and 1910 throughout Europe and the United States. The moon is quite a common motif in Art Nouveau. I recall those beautiful, dreamy, fluidic robed women sitting on smiling crescent moons. I have always been drawn to its delicate romantic imagery and filigree patterns. Symbolism and Art Nouveau were simultaneous art movements that existed each on its own but often came together in one piece. Symbolism focused on the abstract use of symbols to express the spiritual reality behind the physical world. We are seeing our first winter snowfall here in Ireland, and the weather has just got very, very cold. I find myself being kind of lazy when the weather's like this. I've had the urge to tidy my house and put things in order. Anything but edit my videos or make any new art. Tidying, I guess, is how I procrastinate. We were in the moon's last quarter when my mind shifted into this mode, and for many years now, I have always tried to remember to observe the moon's phase from day to day. I usually draw a simple lunar calendar in my journal, so I have an easy reference to see the current phase. Each week, I try and take note of what phase we're in, alongside a quick assessment of my mood and energy levels. Over time, correlations and patterns become very clear by noticing and feeling the change throughout the month in yourself and the people around you. We can tap into these cycles and tune into the energies of the moon to help us stay focused and plan our productivity and rest in tune with these lunar rhythms, instead of working against them. Everything that flows moves in rhythm with the moon. Our Lady Lunar rules the water element on the earth, and she pulls the ocean's tides, the weather, female reproductive cycles, and the life fluids in plants, animals, and people. She influences the underground currents of the earth's energy, the mood swings of mind, body, behavior, and emotion. The Earth has two primary relationships in the universe. One is with the moon, who circles around her, and one is with the sun, whom she circles around. Both are equal to her, night and day. The moon phases reflects her dance with the sun and the earth, her closest family in the sky. Together, these three heavenly bodies weave a web of dark and light into our lives. Living life in keeping with these lunar phases traditionally has had a special meaning to women, as we are emotionally and perhaps physically all following the same phases. As the moon needs to recede, withdraw, renew each month, so do we. We travel across a different emotional state the same way the moon travels around the earth. The more attuned we are to these phases and how they can affect us, the better we can harness the different energies to help set out our intentions, clear away negativity, and schedule our productivity for those high lunar energies. For each of the 8 phases, the angle between the sun and the moon is reflected to the earth, and it progresses by 45-degree increments. It takes the moon 29.5 days to travel across the Earth. It's during that full rotation that we will see each moon phase. Each phase occurs roughly 7.4 days apart, bringing unique energies and meanings with each phase. During a new moon, the moon is positioned between the Earth and the Sun. It cannot be seen from Earth. The moon phase signifies new beginnings, a clean, blank page, and unlimited possibilities, a time for planting seeds and setting intention. The first phase in astrology is called conjunction, meaning an angle of 0 to 10 degrees. This hidden state represents the moment of fertility, unforeseen potential, a time to start fresh and think about what you really want to call into your life, your time of retreat, a time when you can regain your strength and begin again. Hidden like the moon, its energies are calling us to give ourselves much needed alone time. You may find yourself feeling antisocial and introverted for no reason. Pay attention to these feelings and embrace them. As the moon turns its dark side towards us, turn yourself inwards and away from the draining energies of others. Turning off is the best way to make the most of a new moon. Following the darkness, of the new moon, we see a waxing crescent moon. This is our current moon since January 24th and into February the 2nd. Waxing means the moon's illumination is growing, and crescent means that less than half of the moon is illuminated. This moon phase signifies intention with declaration, sprouting, and fresh energy to conceptualize and focus on the detail. This is when you should be developing your intentions, making plans, and laying the mental groundwork for your next project. This second phase in astrology is called the opening sextile, provides opportunity, and it is very responsive to any effort expended to gain benefits. This is the perfect moment to clarify your intention and hold it close to your heart for the next 28 days. The third phase is the first quarter moon, where exactly half of the moon is illuminated and the other half is shadowed. This particular moon cycle signifies decision-making, momentum, action, challenges, paying attention, and sending out roots. Referred to in astrology as the opening square, referring to an angle of 90 degrees. The square's energy is strong and usable, but it has a tension that needs integration between two different areas of life. This is when we start to feel some resistance, and it comes in the form of obstacles. If your intentions are planted during the new moon, your first hurdles at achieving these goals are going to be experienced here. Your week of rest and intention setting is over. You must now work harder than before. Be prepared to make decisions on the spot and not to lose your cool when things come at you from out of nowhere. The best way to handle this moon is to be flexible. Keep the intentions you set during the last new moon in your mind the entire time and make decisions that will ultimately bring about the outcome you previously set in your intentions. Perseverance and focus is what is needed here. For a challenge or a setback is just an opportunity to see what you could be doing differently, to bring your desires into fruition. Taking time to breathe, notice what's not working, and quickly take needed actions to make changes. The waxing gibbous moon follows the first quarter. Waxing means the moon's illumination is growing, and gibbous means more than half of the moon is illuminated. This fourth phase is called trine. During this phase, the solutions to challenges have arrived. The waxing gibbous moon's themes are refinement, editing, patience, perseverance, balanced consciousness, gestation, and nurture. You have already put solutions into actions and can see things working out. Productivity is high, ease and faith return. The fifth phase is the full moon, where the sun illuminates the entire moon. This particular moon cycle signifies peak energy, healing, blossoming, blessings, community, celebrations, joy, gratitude. The fifth phase is called opposition. In astrology, the angle is 180 degrees. Oppositions are the opposite of conjunctions of a new moon. Equally as powerful, although the difference between them is an externalizing effect, a highly charging energy to draw your expression outwards. Whether your intention has come into realization or not, you recognize the great progress that you've made and let go of any disappointment or frustration. The full moon will help you realize what you need to reevaluate, give up, or change direction on. Following the highly charged energy of the full moon is the waning gibbous. Waning refers to the decreasing of the moon's illumination, and gibbous means more than half of the moon is illuminated. This moon phase signifies release, receive, service, harvest, and nurture others. This sixth phase is called the closing sextile. We continue to release any limiting beliefs and old patterns of behavior that may be blocking us. This is the time to be gentle and nurture ourselves. Self-care, self-compassion that we can extend to others. The seventh moon phase is the third quarter. Once again, exactly half of the moon is illuminated and the other half shadowed, but this time we will see the opposite side than the first quarter moon. This moon phase signifies breakdown, reassessment, adjustment, transition, decomposition, and gratitude and forgiveness. This phase is called the closing square. Tensions and challenges arise, often triggering insecurities, causing you to question everything. Know that this phase is just another opportunity to refine your vision. Take a step back and see what you need to change in order to feel good and move forward. Giving back is a big theme during this time. Like the moon gradually decreasing in size, you have to be ready to let go of stuff. Under this moon, the energies will assist you of letting go of grudges and releasing anger to be able to receive the new focus and intentions during the next new moon. A great practice during this moon is to cleanse. Clean out your house, your closet, anything in your environment. Look into anything that's no longer serving you and get rid of it. Pay attention to the unnecessary emotional and physical clutter that you may have accumulated during this past cycle and get rid of it. To shed unnecessary emotional weights, try any type of physical activity. I like to walk. When you physically move your body, bring new energy into your body and in turn release old energy. This will bring new energy into your creativity, your mind and your spirit. The last and 8th phase is the waning crescent, like the one depicted in my drawing. Waning refers to the shrinking of the moon's illumination and the crescent meaning less than half of the moon illuminated. This particular moon cycle signifies surrender, intuition, rest, restore, reflect, cleanse, clear and compost. This is also called the closing trine, meaning an angle of 120 degrees. This final cycle helps you reflect, reconnecting with the faith in your vision. You are able to remember why this intention was so important to you. This time prepares you for the next moon cycle and infuses your intention with more energy and power. And then we are back round again to the new moon. Once more the moon is positioned between the earth and the sun, hidden, signifying new beginnings, new energies, new ideas. The moon cycle begins again. The lunar cycle is one of creation. It ebbs and it flows. By observing the moon in together with noticing the patterns of ups and downs in our lives, we start to understand a correlation of how we can flow with the lunar rhythms, using each phase of the moon to focus and fuel our efforts. Tracking the moon is one of the oldest ways of keeping time. Celebrating the passing of the seasons with the moon can help us mentally and emotionally prepare for what's ahead, whether it's taking the time to rest and goal set on a new moon, or to gather in community, heal and celebrate on a full moon. Observing the moon can help keep you in touch with her cycles and rhythms. My moon drawing was done in a mid-tone sketchbook. The pencils I'm using here are the Derwent black and white tonal set. I use this mainly for the bulk of my drawing. I blend in some detailed brighter colours with Faber-Castell classic colouring pencils and Bronze-Anneal Expression artist colouring pencils. I used my refillable Penalt brush pen to create the black night background, which created a dramatic contrast and really made my moon shine. I used a dampened cotton tip in parts to blend and fade this ink softly around the clouds, creating depth and atmosphere within the frame of the moon's crescent. I used white gel pens for bright highlights and stars. I will again add my tools and materials below the video. This was a quick little drawing that took me about an hour and a half in real time to complete. I hope you enjoyed it. We are coming to the end of my time lapse now, so if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon for another video. Bye bye!